The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, good to see you. This is the official, we did a actual Thanksgiving podcast, but this is the last podcast we're going to do live before Thanksgiving. It is Wednesday. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Feeling a little frisky, Cleaning Nation. So as normal for these calls, we're doing it live. I think Lindsay has got some folks that have asked questions at support@growmycleaningcompany.com. Also, if there's anyone live that comes up with a super fun question, we'll answer yours live as well. That said, let's get the party started. Lindsay, who we got? How can I help?
All right, let's see here. First up, I promised Beata, I hope I'm saying your name right, from Facebook. I promised her last week that we would answer her question. She says, hello, I would like to know what is the best and quickest way to get local office cleaning leads. Thank you. All
right, I always want to help best we can, but I hate these very general questions. And we've done hundreds of podcasts on how to get leads. So local leads, we're going to assume you're always looking for in the cleaning business. Office leads, again, I think that's one of the problems people make is they think office leads is different. First of all, you guys always overemphasize the lead gen thing. So when people say local office leads, I think they're looking for me to go, Yelp is the way to go. That's the magic. And somehow that's the magic, right? It's Yelp or it's Facebook or it's direct mail or it's telemarketing or it's local service ads or it's Facebook ads or we could go on and on. Groupon for, oldie but goodies, Yellow Pages for really oldie but goodies. It's not the methodology, right? What people always want to do is the magic method, because I don't say they're too lazy, but I'll let you fill in that blank if you want. They don't want to do the work of getting the right message. So the offer, what you're saying to them is the key. So if you've got the right message, it really doesn't matter what methodology you use as long as some of your clients' eyeballs are on it. So the best way to get leads for anybody is to really understand what they're paying, who they are, right? So the way I'm going to speak to Lindsay, she's a married lady. She lives in the suburbs. She's younger than I am. She's, almost a young lady. The way I'm going to speak to her is very different than me. I live right in the middle of a city on the West Coast. Lindsay's on the East Coast. She's a Midwestern girl at heart, but moved out. Again, married, no kids, cat kids. I'm, 49 years old. I'm almost dead. I'm married. I've got an 8-year-old at home. I've got just the way I'm going to speak to each of us is very different, and especially about different things. Lindsay thinking about getting a house cleaner for her house would be wildly different. I'm making up probably how guests feel, how she feels. She's pretty busy. She'd like to focus her time on other things. For me, it would be exclusively, I just want to make my wife happy. If she's happy, I don't give a crap, and I don't want to get scammed. So same service, completely different messaging. So if it's Lindsay's a female, so she's on Pinterest, and Mike is a man and he's a business owner, so he's on LinkedIn. I'm missing the whole goddamn thing, because if I take my crappy messaging on Pinterest or LinkedIn, and I've been on LinkedIn, and I'm sure Lindsay's been on, I've been on Pinterest, and I'm sure Lindsay's been on LinkedIn. It's not the media, it's the message. And so first and foremost, got to understand the psychology, what's going on with the person. Second, you got to get a message that makes sense. And then finally make an offer. People miss that. Well, I said call, or sometimes I say call now, or sometimes they'll say call now for a free estimate. Well, the one thing Lindsay and I have in common demographically is we do not want to call for a free estimate, right? We want some sort of and I know you're talking business, but Lindsay is the purchaser she probably spends more money. Now, Jared buys ads. Other than Jared, non-ad money, Lindsay by far spends the most in our company. So she would be a purchaser. If we had an office, she'd be the one hiring that person. The way you speak to her is going to be very different than the way you speak to me. So, and the offer that you're going to make her is really important. So we just said, call now for a free estimate. Lindsay's got no time to fool around calling for free estimates. But if you say, let us do something that brings value to your world, and then maybe tangentially we'll sign up for cleaning services, that's a different kettle of fish. So the short answer to your short question is don't focus on the media, focus on who your buyer is. And office buildings or small office buildings have never bought anything. Lindsay in accounting or Lindsay in purchasing or Lindsay in office management, she buys crap. So we really are buying, Lindsay's the purchaser, even if she's buying on behalf of somebody else. She's the one with the checkbook, and she's the one whose psychology we need to understand. And if we speak to her the right message, there's a dozen places we could reach Lindsay. She is on Facebook. She does have a mailbox that she opens. She does get email. She does pick up the phone. There's lots of ways you can contact her. None of them are magic, but if you don't have the right message, you contact her all you want, is going to fall flat. Lindsay is an actual Lindsay. What am I missing? What do you have to add? What pearls of wisdom can you share?
Well, having worked in offices and being an office manager before in real life, I can speak to that, like really addressing the person, not just offices, general, like really personalizing it and getting to know like what the office manager's pains are and all that. So yeah, definitely spot on.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah. I feel like we got one good answer. Who's next? Who can we help?
All right, we're on a roll. So Noelle emailed us in from Florida. She says, I have a few commercial contracts, one being a good sized car dealership. The owner has two more in a neighboring city. I was able to get this dealership because of their pain, doing air quotes for those on the podcast. Last guy was
well. I like the cut of your jib, lady. Let's go.
The last guy wasn't performing well. How do you suggest I approach this situation of trying to get the other dealerships if there isn't a real quote unquote pain at those other dealerships?
It's a really good question. I like the question. I like the fact that you understand what we're trying to solve for. I like it's Noel coming up on the whole holiday season. I'm digging everything you're laying down. We're picking up over here, girl. So here's again, we're kind of into the marketing and sales thing today, which is a good theme. I think the biggest, I don't want to say mistake, but misconception or biggest way that people make their jobs harder than they really need to be is they try to sell people that don't want to be sold, right? So if there's no pain, there's no sale. I'm not the answer, and this may be unsatisfying, but I'm not going to try and find, that would be like me going, there's a lady at church who's married and really into her husband. How do I get her to date me? I'm like, I probably would just find a lady who's not married or into her husband and that's looking to date other dudes and get her to date. Like, it just, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible? I don't know. And obviously the married thing, there's a moral implication. There's no moral implication here, but the concept is the same, right? Like, well, maybe if I'm looking for a lady, as opposed to going to my married group at church, I'll go to the singles group. Maybe, what do you know? Or maybe a dating app where, God willing, everybody's at least looking to date and ideally not married. So I would spend 90% of my time and resources getting the right people who want my help to raise their hand and come to me, and 10% of my time trying to help those people get what they want. Most people reverse it. There's a guy I want, or a lead, a customer, or whatever. I'm going to try and talk him into it or get him to do my thing. And it's like, why? Right? Like the whole, I could sell ice to Eskimos. I'm like, why not sell wood so they can build a fire and have a better life? Like, why are we trying to scam you? And I'm not saying no one's trying to scam anyone, but short answer, I would just want to be top of mind and make sure that when he has pain, that never goes out to bid. And it goes right to me for the bid. And we just, as long as I take good care of him, we go right into it. So I'm going to make sure he knows me, he likes me, he trusts me. But for all of you guys out here, ready for my high pressure sales pitch? If your cleaning company is working exactly the way you want it, you're making all the money you want, you enjoy it day to day, you're not cleaning, you're not working 50, 60 hours a week and everything's great, don't call us for help. We have nothing for you. You can call me and my coaching is going to be are you enjoying your life? Keep doing exactly what you're doing. You'll probably keep getting exactly what you've been getting. However, if you're like, I am miserable, I'm struggling, I'm working too hard, I'm not getting any money, give us a call. We can help. So Noelle, I love that you want those other jobs, and make sure he knows that you're there. And if and when there's a problem, you're ready to, again, be as a consultant, right? Like, we'll go back to the dating. Everyone gets it. If, this is not the case, but say my wife and I were kind of arguing and, we're having a rough patch in our road. Do I want her seeking solace in some other dudes, no, I do not. I'm not interested in that at all. Right. So again, without getting weird, that's the position I'd want to be. I'd want to be the friend, like, hey, you're married now to your cleaning company. No problem. I'm not trying to get in the middle of that. But if and when the relationship's not working for you, come to me. Let's talk about it, right? I want to be more of the consultant trying to help them through their problems if they have it. And if they don't have any problems, I'm not trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. There we go. Found a way to make selling cleaning services to a commercial car dealer weird.
Just when you thought it was impossible, Mike.
It's a Thanksgiving miracle. Hey, new friend, love that you were here. If you want more Cleaning Nation, more us, you can check us out on YouTube. Similar content, you just get to see each other. It's totally free. Or if you want to say, hey, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, join our free Facebook group. We love hearing from you, Cleaning Nation. That's what makes it magic. Jump on, we'll see you there.
All right. We actually have a follow-up question from last week from Haley Morgan. It's a great question. She says, following up, you said you wouldn't do a sales rep for commercial cleaners. My company's commercial only. You mentioned possibly lead generation marketing. She says she secured 100% of her business from cold calling. The issue she's facing is that cold calling is so time consuming for her personally as the owner, and she doesn't want to do that forever. How can she hire someone so there's results? Set a quota of walkthrough scheduled, pay per walkthrough schedule. What would you advise on that situation?
Man, what's this girl's name?
This is Haley Morgan from Facebook.
Haley, another, like, did she, is she live or she put in her question?
She put in her question beforehand.
We still love you, Haley. That's a solid question. Man, I'm always complaining like, it's such a hard question. And this is a great one. I love it. Wait a second. Is my mic on the right mic? Let me just make sure. I'm going to feel weird if I went through half of this thing with my mic being my, it's the wrong one. Watch this. I'm going to sound 10% better.
Uh-oh.
Right now.
Oh, it's a miracle. Another Thanksgiving miracle.
It's another. The last half of the podcast will sound like an actual professional dude with a microphone and a pop guard because I'm that fancy. $8 and you can be almost as cool as me. That's inflation's $12 and you can be almost as cool as me. And you can spit like a maniac, which I constantly do. Literally, I have to clean my computer with all this. It's disgusting. Like, I'm just a disgusting human, guys. Sorry. That is not a Thanksgiving miracle. No one wants to hear about that. Okay. So great question, Haley. Let's make a distinction. Telemarketer is not a salesperson. So when I said I would not hire a salesperson for commercial cleaning, I would not, but I'm totally okay hiring a lead gen person. So that lead gen person could be someone to deliver postcards for me, hang door mailers, make telephone calls, reach out to people in Facebook groups, direct message people, create an email campaign. Those are all lead gen, and I'm all about that. So that is super fine. I'm just the salesperson is the guy. So telemarketing's job is, hey, want some cleaning? Hey, want some cleaning? Hey, want some cleaning? It's super tedious, right? You might make $100 to get one bid or something like that. That's not a salesperson. So I'm totally okay, Haley, hiring someone out at that. And they're probably not going to be as good as you, and it's going to be expensive and yada, yada, yada. But I'm still going to be going on those sales calls. That said, I got to be honest, telemarketing is a really hard position to hire because you only have two options. You got to hire and train someone internally. That's a big job. Running a phone, like just hiring and training telemarketing is much harder than cleaners. Or you can hire a company to do it, but because it's so hard to do that, and that's what they do, it is very expensive, like $40-50 an hour. It's hard to get them to guarantee anything. So yeah, if I could get a lead, I mean, for commercial, for a bid, as long as the bid was at least, $1,000-1,500 a month, I would pay $200-300 for a bid. But a lot of companies aren't willing to do that. So you can either hire a service, which there's some risk, or you can train someone yourself, which there's some risk and it takes a bunch of time. So for me, I like telemarketing, but again, it's one of those things, Haley, where oftentimes if the owner is good at it and likes it, they can get one set of consistent results. But when you try and sub it out, the results are going to be less. The good news is you don't need them to be as good as yours. You just need a positive ROI. So as long as, it's costing me about what my first month revenue would be per month for the people I get or less, I'm happy to pay it. So even if I only get, 3 bids, 4 bids in a month, and, each bid's $2,000 and I get one of them and it costs me $1,500 a month, I'm still going to pay it. Even though you're like, I could have done it for free. I'm like, I know, but it's not a good use of your time. So just to be clear, yes, 1,000 times yes on paying people to help you with lead generation, which telemarketing would be not for sales, which again, on a good month for commercial, you might get 4 or 5 or 6 bids. I would just do that myself as the owner. Anything to add, Lindsay? Anything I missed?
No, nothing you missed. I think that's straight on. We got some action in chat. I'm excited. I love it when you all hit us up in chat. So I'm going to hop over there. We got Rebel Queen. She said,
"Hey, Rebel Queen, can I be badass king?" If we're and if that is your God-given Christian name, my apologies, Rebel Queen. It sounds like an online name. Like, well, if you get to be Rebel Queen, I'm going to be Spittle King, is what I would like to be referred to for the rest of for the rest of this broadcast.
I love this theme. Okay, she says, "What would you recommend for a beginning cleaning business to get customers?"
So same thing as anything we've been talking about, right? Get clear on who your customer is. The biggest mistake beginners make is I'm new, so I'll take anyone, right? Anyone's got money, I'll take it. And I promise you, it feels like you'll grow faster. You want, it's much harder. So get crystal clear on what you want or who you want, get crystal clear on what they want, and then offer it to them. The easiest way is just to remove risk, make it easy. So if I'm residential, I might just do a couple free cleans in exchange for a good review and maybe the opportunity to bid recurring service and to get some experience. So just remove as much risk as possible because you're new. There's a lot of risk inherent because you don't have any experience. So I'm going to, like when I started this podcast, we didn't have any clients. I didn't charge anything for anyone. I think the first couple of clients I had, I did for very little money, and I just gave them massive results before I did any stuff. So I would just make the barrier to entry. So be super clear on who you're looking for and focus only on them. Be crystal clear on what pain you solve for them and how to communicate that to them. Communicate it to them effectively, however you see fit, door hangers, email, like all the lead sources we've talked about, and then just remove the barriers of entry to start and make it very easy for them to say yes. So there's hopefully a good, impactful, short answer. I think we got time for one, maybe two more, depending on how ranty I get.
Ooh, all right. One more from chat. Let's see here. This is from Kyle Hopkins.
Really quick, for those of you on, they're like, I would like to be on chat. How do I get invited to that party? Our Facebook group, just go to go to Facebook, Grow My Cleaning Company is the name of the group. I think if you're in the group, these are free. You can just jump in. You'll get a little invite. So just join our little group. It's only for owners of cleaning companies. So if you don't own a cleaning company or you are trying to sell crap to our group, don't apply. We'll throw you out. But if you have a cleaning company, that's where you can join these live. All right, go ahead and hit the question again. And what was the guy's name?
This is Kyle Hopkins. And Kyle wants to know, for those just starting out with no cleaning times to refer to, how do you go about estimating the time it takes to clean a house without being way off?
Good news about residential cleaning is you're not going to be way off. Like most of you have cleaned a house before. So, I mean, a smaller house is going to take a team of 2 hour and a half, a bigger house, 3 hours at the outside. And, you're probably not going to start with a 25,000 square foot mansion for your first deal. Plus, if you're asking live, I know you're in the Facebook group, and that's a great way to get an idea. And the good news is experience is going to do it. For residential, you do 3 or 4 or 5 bids, you'll be all that you need. And there's only 2. You can get it right, no problem, or you can screw up. And if you screw up, there's only 2 ways. I bid too much or I bid too little. If you bid too much, maybe you miss a bid, no big deal. If you're good at getting leads, you'll get another lead. You'll get another bid, no problem. Maybe you get the job, in which case, no problem. You just start off more profitable than you expected, and there's no problem with that, especially as you're new. And if you bid too little, you can always just raise prices. Go, hey, I'm new, Lindsay. I made a huge mistake. I don't know how to do math. It took me twice as long. I know I told you, whatever, it'll be this. And just to make it easy, guys, gals, as of this recording, November 2023 for residential, depending on what part of the country, and $350 to $450 per month for every other week cleans about average. So that'll give you a good place to start, Kyle. I think we got time for one more, not super long one. Because it's the day before Thanksgiving. I got crap to do, lady.
You got turkeys to cook, all right?
I got turkeys to eat.
Well, this is a quick question. What do you think, and it's from Rebel Queen, what do you think about Thumbtack or Angie going to those sources for leads?
All right, I'll give you the quick answer. Not good. Okay, if you want more, I will help you with one. So, honestly, they're large companies, and they didn't get large because they're scamming everybody. I think a lot of people I'll just be honest with you, Rebel Queen, coming from Spittle King, I haven't done this for so long. I don't think I've ever had a guy. It's like, I love Angie. I love Bark. What's the other one? Angie?
Thumbtack.
Yell, any of those. they all think they're getting scammed and they hate them. You're not getting scammed. It's just you got to understand what's happening here. So all they do is they spend a bunch of money online getting people to raise their hand saying, I'm looking for a bid. And they only they're able to charge you cheap for those bids, like $20-$30, because they sell those same bids to like 4 different vendors. So that's the only way you do it. You could also find a place that will sell you the bid exclusively. It just might be $100, right? So what happens is a lot of times they buy the bid and think it's a bad quality or blah, blah, blah. But the reality is they're not following up, right? So if you're going to be in a game where and they tell you their game, they tell you they're going to sell it to other people. So you just got to be really good at follow-up, right? Because no offense on the residential stuff, guys. If Lindsay's calling to get her house cleaned and she puts something in Bark or Yelp or Angie's listening to that stuff, she's not just going to sit by the phone sighing like, oh, I hope they call, right? She's going to keep going until she gets, she for those of you in the video, she just did a very cute, like waiting by the phone face. So she's going to keep going until she gets that problem solved or she gets her itch scratched. And again, setting an appointment or something like that, you don't have to like go out there and clean it that day, but you just have to have her like in her mind, check that off. Like, oh, I talked to a guy, he's coming out tomorrow. He seems really good. I don't have to worry about that for now. So what typically happens is you're not set up to be in a competitive lead thing. So you call back an hour, 2 hours later, the next day, God forbid, and they've already been called by the 3 people and they're not interested in your stuff anymore. You're like, that lead was a scam. It was a bad scam. So I want to be able to generate my own leads, right? Because if, like I forget the name of the other gal who said she does everything through telemarketing. Telemarketing is great, but anytime you have one lead source and one lead source only, that's a risk, right? What if all of a sudden telemarketing becomes illegal or they charge per call or people get better phone screening or like lots of stuff could happen. So I don't like one thing. Same thing with Angie's List. What if they double their leads? What if lead quality goes bad? What if someone figures a way to in your area to like call everyone immediately? Like I don't want any single source. That said, in Angie's List and stuff like that probably wouldn't be my first or second pick, but they can be good. You just have to be really good at following up on leads. You have a system to do speed lead on the follow-up and a good system to convert them and take them off the market, so to speak. So when the other guys call, they've already said they'll go to the dance with you and you don't have to worry about it. So they're not inherently bad, but I can tell you, almost everyone we talk to has a bad experience, but it's probably 30% because the leads are resold and it's a difficult situation, 70% because they don't really know what to expect and they don't handle their business properly or effectively. So that's there you go. The short answer, nah, I'd skip and go somewhere else. Did we get everyone that needed the help, or at least the time that we've got right now, Lindsay?
We did. We're all set. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving out there.
Cool. And if you need more help, you can tag who would they tag in the Facebook group? So join the Facebook group. It's free. Who would they tag in the Facebook group and say they need help?
They can tag, they're going to tag at me, Lindsay Bjorklund for now.
All right. We've only got one Lindsay. There's like 16,000 people in there. Only one Bjorklund. I can promise you.
BJORKLUND. That'll be it.
So if you need help, tag Lindsay. She'll get you whatever you need. GrowMyCleaningCupboard.com. It's got all the free resources. Check it out. Have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Talk soon. Well, here we are, the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share it with a friend. Share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431, 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.